Hello everyone and welcome back to the Game Gallery here on Nerds or Us, and you join us as we have a little mild episode of Fandangoing here as we preempt what is our latest watch along, which is Grim Fandango. Not pronounced that way, I just thought I'd just throw it in there for the spice. But yeah, this is our last
Fandango,
of our...
can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, yes.
Unfortunately, yep.
This is Grim Fandango, can you hear me?
I'm looking for... Hey everybody, I'm looking for a Grim Fandango. But yes, this is the last of our LucasArts trilogy, and our Scumm variant, if you will. We've had the dig, we've had Full Throttle, and now we're going for a feature presentation that is indeed the the end of our journey in more ways than one, as you'll find out as we kick through this playthrough. Fair to say, lads, I've kept you in the dark about this one. I've told you there's a kind of a noir romance of sorts, but otherwise you know very little about this game. I think it's fair to say you haven't done your homework beforehand. You've kept yourselves.
No, kept us in the dark. The way we like it, because we want to get the actual reactions of this game, because, yeah, well, that's what you want, isn't it? You want the... Yeah,
exactly. We're trying to go with the secret meta here, which is to see if it's a game good enough for Aaron to pay attention to. We've established at the end of the last playthrough.
That's
the meta. That's what this
Aaron,
is about.
Mention two things about the game. It was good.
Mark Hamill and bikes.
And Mark Hamill, like.
Okay, that's good.
That'll be enough for you.
I actually enjoyed the last game. All right. The last game was more fun. I thought the game before that was just a little bit less fun. I think it started off better.
Yeah.
And then the one before... No, was the one before that or before that?
You're thinking of Cobra. The one that was like 4 games ago at this stage.
That was the 9-hour... saga.
Yeah, that one can die in the fucking fire, to be honest.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about homoerotic Ken. Yeah, from Street Fighter.
We do not. Yeah, skin tight Ken. Anyway,
that's the one.
Right, lads. Shall we jump in then and get onto this 4-year epic?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right then. I'll count us in then on 3, 2, 1, play. So, as you can tell from the title screen here, I've gone for the remastered version, which you can play on the Switch, or PS4 if you prefer. May possibly have been ported since the PS5, I'm not too sure. But yeah, they've upgraded they've done basically what they did with Full Throttle, just gave a little graphical touch-up, a few quality of life changes like autosave and stuff like that. Well, this is pretty much the same experience as you would have had way back when.
Sorry for the wait, Mr. Flores. I am ready to take you now.
Take me? Take me where?
No. There's no need to be nervous.
Nervous? No. Just your appearance. It's a little intimidating.
Is fucking Tim Burton ever handling
What
this?
about this is intimidating?
But I'm your friend.
Did Tim Burton ever handling this?
I'm your new
No, there's no Tim Burton at all in this. It is, I can see where you're going with it. It is very Nightmare Before Christmas. So.
Yeah.
Tim Burton free.
You're dead, but you're not alone. Everybody here is just as dead as you. That's why.
And as far as I know as well, it is actually quite light on celebrity intervention. These are all just proper actors on this one, so.
The 4-year journey of the soul. It is quite a big trip. And I can't lie to you, Celso. It could be very, very dangerous. Unless you were to take that money you were buried with and buy a better travel package from us. I mean, wouldn't you rather cross the land of the dead in your own sports?
No, that looks too much like Titanic. Sorry, mate. Ain't going for that one.
Yeah, all of these are just ways people died.
Yeah. You've got Steve McQueen, you've got Titanic, and then the train wreck in Cork from the 80s.
I look at you had to like really roll back in the memories there. It's like, what's the last train wreck that I remember? Oh yeah.
In 1986, I think it was, or something like that.
The bad news is the train appears to be just out of your reach.
Can you turn on your volume a little bit on your side, Aaron?
Yeah. No. I'm watching on the TV as well. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's the ticket.
That's perfect. Thank you.
As probably become clear.
You know, listen to it through your headphones, no?
No, because I'm watching on the TV.
Oh, you're going to have a great trip.
It's easier for me to just sit here with the laptop and actually like look at it properly this way.
I can't leave here.
I do like that you're kind of going for a kind of come hither angle of a tasteful sideshow angle of Aaron here.
What's actually wrong with me at the moment more than anything, right? I'm still a bit tired from the weekend. I still haven't completely recovered yet. My back is on another level of pain right now.
Oh my
Aaron,
God,
say no more. We've
Sophia
all had weekends
Vergara.
like that. We've all had weekends where your back is in bits.
The stereotypical Hispanic woman. Don't go through the door.
Or New York, it is. No, don't go over there.
Don't open the door over there.
Where do they get these guys?
Oh, you fucking fraud. You
I love
fraud.
the fucking stills. It's just.
I mean, talk about lifting the curtain back, you know what I mean? For fuck's sake.
No.
Ruining the mystique. By the way, you talk about not much star power in this game. Tony Plan is actually the voice of Manuel Calavera. He is,
I was just about to say,
to be fair, his star's risen ever so slightly. He was the father in goal, and then he ended up in the MCU, I believe.
Looks like I got
Yes, and he was basically like his most prominent role would be in Ugly Betty. But again, this was well after Grim Fandango.
He hit a certain age, and he became Hispanic dad that's a little bit too hard on his kids.
And then he became like drunk kingpin's dad in Mayans, I think it was.
Yes. So let me give you a little bit of context over what this game is about. So Grim Fandango is all, as you can tell, very Cinco de Mayo inspired. So it's all about the Day of the Dead. It's all about the festival. It's all about the mystique around it, the mythos.
Yeah.
All based around it. So the main character here is Manny Calavera, and what he is a travel agent for the land of the dead. So the whole idea is that basically he works at a department where people come in and they've just recently passed away, and they're now living in basically a kind of like fictionalized purgatory, and based on what they were like as people in the land of the living, will decide how quick the journey is through the land of the dead. That's essentially how it works. So the guy that he was talking to there, Celso, basically had like pretty shit credits for all intents and purposes, so he didn't afford any of the travel packages that would allow him to basically get to the end of the line quicker. So Celso now has to walk across. The kind of premise is basically like, you know, the afterlife is basically like over yonder. So depending on how good you are as a person is how shorter the journey is through purgatory. That's the whole premise. So the 3 travel packages that Manny was talking about there was like a car, a boat, or a train. Basically, the train line starts from here all the way to the end of the world, and it's like a 9-minute journey. So off you go, and then you're straight through. You don't have to even worry about purgatory. You're just dead, and you move on. Now the problem is that Manny himself is also trying to get to the end of the world himself. He also wants to pass on, but he obviously didn't have enough credit as a living person to do so. So now he works as a travel agent, and he's trying to build up the money, build up the cred, build up the karma, I suppose, if you want to call it that, and get himself to the end of the line himself. And this is where we start off our game.
Nice.
I just looked up the actor because I wanted to find out who he played in the MCU, because I couldn't remember who that actor played in the MCU, and I can remember 3 fucking random ass actors that have popped up in the MCU.
I may be wrong on that. I might be wrong.
On that. No, you're not. No, he did. He was as I like to say, government agent number 567.
Yeah.
So that's
how random. That's how random it is. Yeah. Like
he was in the Punisher. That's what he was in.
A guy who's also voice acting this Hector Lamont.
Yes.
The character Hector Lamont is voiced by Jim Ward, who is a prominent DC and video game voice actor. I thought I recognized who that was. He's in Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty World War 2. He's done a lot of animated Batman Justice League. Yeah, Destroy All Humans 2.
Just a fucking good
tons of Marvel and DC animated series he's done, like tons. That's really cool.
There's definitely was a conscious effort to try and get actual voice actors on this one. And again, I don't think it has any kind of like real kind of massive decision in a sense. Like there was a bit of a fascination with celebrities in the mid-90s in video games. Like you would have had the likes of we saw Robert Patrick, for instance, in the Dig, Mark Hamill. You'd argue he's more of a voice actor.
He is a voice actor by choice. I was about to say, because I mean,
already on the series, you would have watched Ripper, which had Christopher Walken and Burgess Meredith and stuff like that. And I know of games, 2 or 3 games that have Dennis Hopper in it. You know, So
Yeah.
like he has a real dalliance with video games. There's also a game that's very much that's a pretty much a video game version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit called Toonstruck, who also has a lot of that as well. But that's all. It was all the F&B craze, and I think that was kind of seen as a kind of the next step in terms of the whole video game kind of evolution. And then we get the Grim Fandango, which is, I believe, 1998, 1999. And that's kind of all normalized out to having, like, you know, this is pretty much the same experience, except we're still polygons. You know?
It does have very 90s off, doesn't it? Like,
It does.
even at the ask me, it felt very like mid to late 90s. Toy Story. Kind of. Yeah.
Well, again, should we still say now, so the other kind of qualifier here is that LucasArts was predominantly a 2D point-and-click studio. Because point-and-click adventures realistically always lived in two planes. Like any of the great ones you're thinking of, like the Gabriel Knight games, Broken Sword, the Monkey Islands, all very much 2D. However, time and technology moves on, and much like platformers that were all predominantly kind of like the best platformers already are two-dimensional. Let's be fair. And then you had this huge step up then with 3D, and some series didn't really kind of hit the transition well. Like Sonic the Hedgehog had a terrible time in 3D until you'd argue Sonic Heroes or Sonic Generations.
Yeah, true.
You know, Sonic, and again, like it's no surprise that, like, say, certain franchises have now gone back to 2D because it's now socially acceptable to do so. But the LucasArts, to their credit, they had a go at 3D. So Grim Fandango was one. The fourth Monkey Island game, which I believe is Escape from Monkey Island, is also 3D, and it's the only 3D Monkey Island game as well. Because when it comes to the fifth game, is done by Telltale, and it's all done through the Telltale format. And then they're kind of like their 20th anniversary game, which is Return to Monkey Island, is done by can't remember the name of the studio, but they do Broforce and stuff like that. It'll come to me. But basically they went back to 2D as well and got the original designers to basically do a sequel to the original game. So yeah, the whole kind of they basically realized, let's go back to basics and just go back to 3D.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when it comes to, like, you know, people managing the transition from 2D to 3D, LucasArts do a pretty fucking good job. There's a bit of jank in the game, and I will explain the jank when it comes up, but it's quite minimal, actually. This playthrough I had over the weekend here was actually with minimal fuss, which I was very happy with, because there was one or two bugs in this game, but I think they've been ironed out in the remastered version. So,
It's locked.
and now here is the best character in all of video games.
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't expect sales agents usually.
Hello, nightmares.
This part of the garage.
Dave, you don't know how close you are with that one.
My name's Gladys. I don't get many visitors. Hey, I got a message for a Mr. Calavera. Your driver said that Mr. Hurley said that he could have the rest of the day off.
Domino sent my driver home?
Yeah, wasn't that nice?
Looks like I need a new driver.
Oh,
His little ears prick up. He was so happy.
I would
Like a
agree
dog,
with
really.
that. Yes, you do.
It does look like a dog, alright, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a German name?
Oh no.
Found a new thing to annoy my dog with in court that I will be using every time I see him now, which is shadow boxing with the.
Summoned up from the land of the
Does not like that at all, and I don't know whether it's the punches flying or if it's the sound.
It's the sound. It's definitely the sound.
Yeah, but fucking he absolutely hates it. But tail's wagging, so I know he's not actually gonna rip my face off. So it's great.
Speaking of someone with a Jack Russell as well, are you sure about that?
With him, yes. His telltale sign that he's going to murder you is the side eye.
You want to be
well, that's fair enough, actually, yeah.
If I get the side eye, you move away very slowly.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
Come on, Gladys. I need you to be my driver.
It's just been mentioned in dialogue there. So Glottis is an actual demon. And not even that, he is a literal speed demon. That's what he is. So, like, he is there literally to drive, to be a mechanic, to improve vehicles in some description. But as you can see, look at the fucking size of him. Like, he's a cumbersome boy. But yes, when I say he's a speed demon, that's very literally.
he's a bit dopey as well, so being a mechanic is probably the best thing he was going to get in life. Because he's really good with his hands. He might not know like the physics behind it or the chemistry or anything like that, but by God, he's good with his hands, and he hasn't blown up a car yet, so.
That's fair. So in case you're wondering, like, so you're gonna see, we'll see a couple of demons over the game, and they all have just very specific like roles and jobs, and it is literally like they all have 9 to 5s. They all have jobs. They're not looking to move on. They just basically, it's like basically having a gig in a different country. It's like instead of being in the underworld, they live in purgatory and they work in purgatory. You know, they're all just flying. They're all just getting by.
That's kind of a good way of going about it, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, it's all part of the part of the mythos, you know.
There's basically a whole world after you die. It's just like, oh yeah, the banality doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Do you think this just happens? No, there's a guy there putting in your details, doing the admin work. I don't know when he's here. He's doing all the shit jobs. Murder people.
That's very very doable in a sense. Like it's like it is a purgatory. Like you can believe that you might have kind of fucked up in your real life. You might have like committed a crime, or you might have like been a horrible person or whatever.
The best way I've ever seen purgatory put out in anything was The Good Place. Have any of you ever watched The Good Place?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it though.
Ted Danson, right?
Ted Danson, yeah. Now The Good Place is a fucking brilliant show. It's a fantastic show, but their depiction of and how they went around purgatory was no one's actually goes to purgatory. It's very cut and dry. They add up everything in your life and your immediate death, and that's how we decide whether you're going to the good place or the bad place. There's one woman in purgatory, and the reason she's there is because she was a shithead in her life, but because of her cocaine overdose, there was a charity set up in her name in the real world.
Yeah.
So can she really go to hell? But you can't really go to heaven either. Yeah. So she's just stuck in this fucking 80s middle class home, and she's just kind of just stuck. It's like a time capsule. She can't do any better than where she is. She can't really get any worse. So she's just sort of there. It's like the best thing they could have figured out to do purgatory with.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Like, this is my 3rd or 4th time now playing Grim Fandango, and I will say I think this game does actually take that kind of expression of purgatory, and I think it probably does it better. And not like, again, I can't really say it because I haven't watched a good play, so I won't immediately go, no, this game is better with that. But I think there's such a great incorporation of Mexican kind of culture in this. Like, you can hear it in the music alone that it is very, very much a tribute, and it's a very much a kind of love letter to the whole
Coco. That's what it reminds me of. Not fucking, not Nightmare Before it's Coco. That's what it reminds me of. That note was actually making sense in my fucking head now. Yes, of course it is.
But again, the gas thing is, like, you see, the reason why they went with this idea in the first place is that, like, this was not like their first choice to make a video game. When they were making the Fort Monkey Island game, there's only so much they could have done with the graphics because of the polygons of the 3D rendering. So everything looked kind of a bit shite by all intents and purposes. You know, so there's only so much they could do. So that's why, like, they got away with the Monkey Island because the third game was very cartoony. It was very kind of like had a very kind of like Warner Brothers type of like feel to the artwork. So the fourth game was basically, okay, let's just do that but in 3D. But it felt very empty in a sense because everything had the scale that you'd expect for 3D, but they couldn't populate it with much, you know, kind of way. So they thought then with this game, what can we do then? We still have the same type of character models. We still have the same like polygon kind of jank essentially. So we said, well, why don't we make all the character skeletons? Because then they are naturally bony and cubic, and they don't have to have, like, you know, real life details. So it's actually a really creative way of doing it. And then that kind of snowballed into, well, if everyone's a skull and if everyone's a, you know, like basically like a dead person, then where does that lead us? Okay, everyone's undead. No, they're not zombies. They're not this or the other. Then we land on the Day of the Dead then as well, and hence why the character is called Manny Calavera. Calavera is the Spanish for skull. it's very on the nose.
It's really good.
Like, you know. But again, it's also the fact that, like, okay, so then, like, how do we kind of make this a living, breathing world? It's like, well, then let's just imagine that purgatory is just an actual town. Like, this is actually, it's not even called purgatory. It's called El Maro. Like it's an actual legitimate town, and there's like other towns across the way, all like little steps along the way to your journey to your death, essentially.
Aaron, do you want to hear two very obscure video game appearances in 2008 that still throw my brain to this day? Grand Theft Auto 4 featured Ricky Gervais and Cat Williams.
Yeah, they were
those whole comedy sets in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go into the comedy shows and let it go through, like, is it 15-minute set?
Something like that, yeah.
It's a 15-minute set altogether, but they have like 3 different versions of it. So every day they do a rotation of like the 15-minute set overall, but they split it into 3 or 5 minute sets. Frankie Boyle features in it as well.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like how in detail they went.
Yeah. In fairness, like all they did was just get them to get someone to do a stand-up gig, like choreographed in their routine. So, but as I said, it was like here we're trying to like simulate a real life city, you know.
Yeah, it was like how they got Samuel L. Jackson for San Andreas is beyond me. I still laugh at that one. Or Phil Collins in Vice City Stories.
I don't like the way
I mean, like that's as I said, like it's sometimes it is just it's easy to kind of do all your lines in one go, especially if like they're not doing the motion capture and they're not doing the facial capture. So just deliver your lines within a day and you're done, essentially. Especially for Phil Collins, like that would have been just a 1-day job and that's it. Like,
just mad.
Huge. I can't open it.
Just like we got the MCU gig. They did a new Nick Fury in the comics and he was like, that looks an awful lot like me. I won't sue, but if you do movies, I want to be Nick Fury. And I was like, okay. Fucking Samuel L. Jackson before we even start. Yeah, fucking let's do it.
But in fairness for Phil Collins, he has precedence for that. He appeared as a guest on Miami Vice as himself. So his cameo in Vice City Stories was ripping the piss out of that. Yeah. So like it's quite consistent actually, you know.